when you think about contacting your legislators, I would strongly suggest that you reach out to the president of your college first. I think that person has the loop to the politicians. May not be as strong, and it may be stronger than your own loop, but I think out of respect for the presidents and the chair of the Board of Trustees, those two people need to know what's on your mind. That's why I always say, call your president, call your the board chair. Let them know how you're feeling, whether it's a positive or a negative. Let them know. Let them know you want to help. And maybe they'll include you in a meeting that they may be having with elected officials. But I think that's vital. Don't forget your president and your board chair.
The college is not a county agency. We are not county agencies. And that is something that freeholders forget, and because they do appoint some of you, and also that they do a part of the budget, but as a decreasing part of the budget. So that's always a very, very fragile thing to go on, and sometimes I remember when I came here years ago, one of our trustees, dead now unfortunately, of happy memory, he gave me a piece of advice. He said, never let a politician know you well enough to call you by your first name, because the next thing they'll do is ask you for a favor. And I think that's kind of a thing with the freeholders, that you want to keep a good relationship there, and they did appoint you, but it is we're not county agencies.
Can I add to that too? As a former freeholder, I do know that when I attended meetings, I actually never saw the College Board of Trustee members at the meetings, and I was very happy about that. My attitude was when they had a problem, they didn't come to the meeting, they went to their president. And they resolved it between the president and the legislators or the freeholders at private meetings where they would sit and discuss what an issue was. But whenever anybody came to a freeholder meeting, I always thought, okay, this is disgruntlement time. And we don't want, as a former freeholder, we don't want our trustees to be disgruntled. We try and do the best we can with what we have as far as finances is concerned. But as times have proven, it's getting harder and harder for freeholders to give more money to the county colleges. And I'm really glad I'm not a freeholder anymore.
Larry asked me for an example why we're not county agencies. Some examples. You own your own buildings. The buildings are not county-owned buildings. You hire the people. You're not county employees. You're on a separate benefits plan. We're under separate purchasing codes. We can affiliate with the county purchasing plan, but that's not it's something totally at our options. Different insurance programs. Trustees or the freeholders do not approve curriculum. They do not. Any number of other things, which isn't to say not to keep them in the loop or keep them informed. That's very important, and no surprises. But it's a narrow path to walk there. We have separate attorneys, we have separate accountants, separate budgets, and it's very difficult. One of the issues I think you'll constantly run in with are the unfunded mandates. Sometimes the county legislature will pass things that cost money. And, we have an interesting issue right now with Hudson County. We have the prevailing wage ordinances. Believe me, I'm not against any of it. They have compelled us for various reasons to do it. But the cost of compliance is over $1 million for this institution with no increase in services. Now, one of the things we've done is we've negotiated a sidebar where we get reimbursed for the added cost. But it's a constant thing to do that. And I find as president also, I get on the distribution list for county department heads, but I'm not a county department head. And I would say as trustees, you're not the advisory committee to the public health department. It's something totally different with the school code to conduct that. And having said this, it's much easier for me to talk about it than it is for me to do it as president, or for you to keep the separation of as trustees. But it's very, very important, because it can be the camel's nose under the tent.